Hello everyone.
Hello.
So this sprint we've been doing the woodland animal triple double. So we've been squirreling, we've been beavering, and we've been badgering. So, I just thought of that. So we've been, Jonathan has been squirreling away items in our backlog so that we're ready for our next sprint. The rest of the team have been beavering away at the AMS integration, and Jonathan and Matt and Shirley have been badgering LV to let us release some functionality. So I'm going to show you what we've been doing.
Stop that.
Yes. Thanks. So I'm going to show you what we've done with AMS. Currently, Chris is upstairs testing, so I can't actually change any of the feature flags, but I'm just going to remind you that we've done this all behind a feature flag so that we can make these releases and we can separate deployments from functional releases. So in blue at the moment, this display AMS health questionnaire is turned off. If I go over to green, just to prove it to you, we have turned it on in green. Chris is testing it at the moment. There you go. Switched on. If we look at the blue environment, I'll remind you of what our old health questionnaire used to look like. This is the inline health questionnaire. All of these different questions about your medical conditions and what medicines you're taking. But now if we switch to green and we look at health, you see it's much more cut down, because now we're expecting you to go out of our system and use a third-party provider so that we can get enhanced annuities. So as you can see at the moment, it just says a bit of introduction text. This will launch your AMS. So I click start. We do a little security handshake in the background. Then we load up the AMS health questionnaire. It's not my responsibility how slow that is. And then we go through and we stick in details. So I'm just going to stick some stuff in here that looks realistic. And I won't go through the whole process because it's quite long-winded, which is the good thing, because obviously it means I can get more people through the system. Hopefully it will finish. Excellent. Okay. So now this is the bit I want to show you. We have decided to use a slightly different way of working. I briefly touched on this in the last show and tell, but I don't think I went into the detail that I know you all want to know about. Mm-hmm. So a traditional client and server will interact where the client initiates the interaction. So it goes off to the server, and we use some. If you're looking at getting an update in real time when something happens, you have to use something called polling. So you have to make constant requests to the server, and you have to say, has anything changed? Has anything changed? Has anything changed? We've decided to use something called WebSockets, which is an open connection between the client and the server, and the benefit of that is that the server can be the one that initiates the interaction. So when we complete the AMS health questionnaire, they're going to call a webhook in our server. Our server is then going to instantly call the browser and say, and it's not just one browser, any browser that's listening for that particular event, and say, hey, we've got some updates. Now, the benefit of this is down the line, it's the beginnings of the kind of collaborations that you see on things like Google Docs. So with WebSockets, you can have a much better collaboration between multiple users. So maybe you've got someone from the ROS team and someone from the RAS team, both working on the same fact find, someone on the phone with the customer, talking to someone else in the office saying, oh, I need help. They've answered these questions. Does this look right to you? So this is the beginning of great things. So I'm just going to simulate that. Because we're using the green environment rather than the blue environment, I'll just simulate the completion of that fact find health questionnaire, and you should see instantly in the browser window on the left the last completed time popped up. So I don't know if you saw that. Maybe not. Neil looks worried. It did happen, Neil. So that's now there, and the text on the button's changed. This is just so that because we're opening a new tab, the advisor needs to know that they have actually, all that work they've just done in that health questionnaire has actually come through to our system. So when they submit now, and this may or may not work, I can't remember if I've done it all right. This should now, no, I've missed some things, don't worry about that. So that will go off to the engine and look at the changes that were made in the 2.11 release that we released mid-sprint, last sprint. And then it should give us, so that one didn't work, this one did, a new document, the health questionnaire that we get given by AMS. And this will detail all the responses that happened in their system, but we've now collated those in our system. We've also got advice from the engine based off of those responses. So it was underwhelming because it didn't work, but that is the AMS integration complete. Thanks.